Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. We're going to look at l'interrogation. 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 Which is nothing but asking questions. It's not a police inquiry, all right? It's not an interrogation. It is asking questions. Interrogation. If I pronounce the L, it becomes l'interrogation. So, there are three ways to ask questions in French. We learned one last semester and we're learning two this semester. So what is the first way of asking questions in French? Use the sound of your voice. Don't change anything in the sentence. Just use the sound of your voice. For example, vous êtes Ramya. Vous êtes Ramya. Vous êtes Ramya. You are Ramya. Yes, I know you're Ramya. Vous êtes Ramya. But if I raise my voice towards the end of the sentence, vous êtes Ramya, I'm asking a question. Vous êtes Ramya? Statement. I know. Vous êtes Ramya? I don't know. Are you Ramya? D'accord? So use the sound of your voice. Now look at this. Tu. You know it's you. Tu. And aime la glace will be a sentence, but over here there's a question mark at the end. So it is tu aimes la glace. So that is a question. Now why have I put tu in red font? Because I want you to memorize this. I cannot overemphasize this enough. You have to memorize this. By now you should know that SVO is the structure of a sentence, a basic sentence in French. And if at the end of the fourth semester you're able to write me a simple sentence using subject, verb, object without using Google Translate or artificial intelligence, I am satisfied. My job is done. So remember this: subject, verb, object, and here in the sentence tu aimes la glace, I have highlighted tu as the subject in red font, and you will understand why later. Okay? So the first one, remember, use the sound of your voice, raise your voice at the end of the sentence. So let's go back to number one. Tu aimes la glace? It's a question. I don't know. I'm asking you. Tu aimes la glace? It's a statement. I know. All right? Now, let's look at the second way of asking questions. You use the question tag est-ce que. Est-ce que. Est-ce que either means nothing, or it means do, or it means does, or it means is, or it means are. Look at the context and translate. Do not say is it that. Literally it means is it that, but it does not sound like English. Like, do you say, is it that you like ice cream? No, you don't. You say, do you like ice cream? So translate according to the English structure. All right? But how do you use est-ce que in French? Look at this. Can you see tu here? So tu aimes la glace is the same. Tu aimes la glace. Subject, verb, object. And in front of my sentence, I have put est-ce que. So this is how I ask a question using est-ce que. In English, you would say do, est-ce que do. Do you like ice cream? Okay. In French, you say est-ce que, put it in front. Follow it with your subject, follow it with your verb, follow it with your object. Subject, verb, object. Never forget that. Now, the third one, which we're saying now, the third one, you have to invert. Invert means change the position. That's what it means. It doesn't mean take the subject and put it upside down. No. It means take the subject and put it in the second position in your sentence. So what does that mean? Your second position is verb. In your inversion question, the subject takes the position of the verb and the verb takes the position of the subject. You invert the structure. You change it. All right? So now it is no longer SVO, it is VSO, and I'm not talking about a brand of alcohol. No. VSO means verb comes first now. There's a hyphen behind that, which means verb normally doesn't come first. And then you have the subject. So when you look at the hyphen, you should remember that the subject is not in its normal position. The hyphen shows that the subject is not in its normal position. If there is a noun, remember you cannot change the noun. A noun is a noun. Very respectfully we should treat the noun. Okay? You cannot invert a noun. You can only invert a pronoun. So what do? You have little more work. think of the noun, replace it with the correct pronoun, and now you can invert the pronoun. All right, what do I mean by that? Remember, do not invert the noun. So le professeur cannot be inverted. So I replace professor with the pronoun il. All right, and I invert that. The original sentence would be le professeur vient, the teacher is coming. Le professeur, the teacher, vient, is coming. Le professeur vient. Now, if it was just using my voice, I'll say le professeur vient. If it was with est-ce que, I will say est-ce que le professeur vient. But remember, I cannot say vient le professeur. No, that's poetry. We're not talking poetry. We are talking ordinary sentence. You cannot invert a noun. So you replace the noun with the pronoun il, and then you invert the pronoun. So now, le professeur vient hyphen il. Vient-il? Okay? La femme, the lady, que veut-elle? What does she want? All right? So the noun is replaced by L and I invert the L. The professor is inverted by il and I invert the il. Do not invert nouns. Replace the noun by a pronoun and invert that. So let's look at the voice model once again. It's a normal sentence. The only difference is the question mark at the end. If there's no question mark, it's an ordinary sentence. This question mark at the end is what is important. And you have to lift your voice at the end. So let's look at these sentences. Tu aimes la glace? La glace? La glace? Tu aimes la glace? Tu aimes la glace? Tu aimes la glace? First one is a question. Second one is a statement. Il habite avec toi? Il habite avec toi. Alright? Il habite avec toi? Question. Il habite avec toi? Statement. Le professeur est en classe? Le professeur est en classe. The teacher is in the class? The teacher is in the class. Alright, so we have the same system in English also, but I don't think it was really taught to you like that. You just learned it. But now you're taught it in French. Take a sentence. You can transform it into a question by raising the sound of your voice at the end. In the written form, it's easy. There's a question mark. In the oral form, raise your voice at the end. D'accord? Voice model. Next one. Est-ce que model. Est-ce que is a tag. It's a question word. It means do or does. Is or was. Are. Whatever. So start your question with est-ce que, remember. Start it with est-ce que. It either means nothing in the sense you don't translate it. It means do, does, is, are, whatever. Est-ce que tu aimes la glace? You put it in the beginning. Put it in the beginning. Then you have subject, then you have verb, then you have object. So over here, est-ce que, I can either say do you like ice cream? Or I can say you like ice cream. I need not translate the est-ce que. But I do not say is it that you like ice cream. D'accord? Tu aimes la glace? Est-ce qu'il habite avec toi? Is he living with you? Il habite avec toi? Okay? So sentence, these two are the same. The only difference is there's an est-ce que in the sentence. These two are the same. The only difference is there's an est-ce que in the question. Okay? Now, if there's a question tag, what do? What is a question tag? Question tags are words like when, who, why, how much, etc. So if you have a question tag like quand is a question tag, it means when. Put the question tag in front of est-ce que, which is your second now. It's become your second question tag now. So quand, main question, followed by est-ce que, followed by your sentence. Comment means how. Main question, followed by est-ce que, followed by your sentence. D'accord? First your question tag, then est-ce que, then whatever you want to ask. Is that clear? Okay, now the third model, the one that confuses you, the inversion model. Remember, the words are not upside down, as some of you very cleverly do. The words are interchanged. So normally the subject starts with, the subject starts a sentence, always. But in an inversion question, the subject comes second place. It is inverted. It comes second. tu aimes la glace becomes M. See, M is 2 here, M has become 1 here. Tu is 1 here, tu has become 2 here. So aimes tu la glace? And there's a hyphen there. There's a hyphen there to show that the subject is inverted. Venez-vous au magasin avec moi? Are you coming to the shop with me? Whereas sometimes there's no argument. No, your mother just says, vous venez au magasin avec moi. Statement. Vous venez, you're coming. Whether you like it or not, you're coming. Vous venez, you're coming. Vous venez, are you coming? Venez-vous au magasin avec moi? So you first have your verb. You have a hyphen to tell you your subject is coming. And your subject is not in its normal first position. D'accord? So bear with me just a few more slides. Let's repeat again what we learned in inversion. What happens with the tags? What are your tags? I've given you the list here. Qui means who. Quand means when. Comment means how. Quel, remember there are 4 types. They come along with nouns. They mean what. Combien de means how much. They always come together. Où means where. Que is another word that means what. It is used to verbs like what do you like. What pen are you using? Pen is a noun. What do you like? The question is on like. So you use que. Que is for verbs. Quel is for nouns. Alright. So what do you do with all these things? Put the tag first. Example. Que tu aimes. Those are the 3 elements that you're going to use to form a question. Que, and then you have a subject, and then you have a verb. The object is missing. Alright, you're trying to find out what the object is, what you like. So first put que, then put your verb and invert the subject. Okay, qu'aimes-tu? Why QU? Because the E has disappeared because there's a vowel clash. Alright? Comment vas-tu? How are you? Comment vas-tu? How are you going? Comment vas-tu? How are you? Yeah, like I told you, quel is special. It needs a noun. So, quelle chanson il chante? Quelle chanson will come together always because the question is on the noun. What song? What song are they singing? So, quelle chanson chante-t-il? So, if you look at it, basically it's the same as questioning in French. What song? In English, I'm sorry. What song? Quelle chanson? Sing they. If you're good at Shakespeare English, it's sing they. Ordinary Shakespeare in English. We don't use inversion anymore. But it used to be there. In French, it's still there. They like their golden old rules. Alright? So, quelle chanson? What song chante-t-il? What are they singing? Another word that is joined always to the question word is combien de. It always comes along with your noun. So how much time do you want? What time? What cannot be separated from time? How much time? I cannot separate both. So they come together. Combien de farine? How much flour? Combien de farine? Voulez-vous? So vous is your subject, voulez is your verb. You can invert that. But the tag comes in the beginning of the sentence before the inversion takes place. Okay, there's some things that you must memorize because they don't make sense and difficult to figure it out. You have to memorize. Just like I told you to memorize Ilya, which means there is or there are. Now, how do you invert this? Y-a-t-il, don't argue, just do it. You'll understand later. But for now, just memorize it. Y-a-t-il is the inversion. There is the sentence. Y-a-t-il means is there. Is there a person in the class? Y a-t-il une personne dans la salle de classe? Il n'y a pas, negative, there is not, there are not. Inversion of that, n'y a-t-il pas? Is there not, are there not? So memorize these. Il y a, y a-t-il? Il n'y a pas, n'y a-t-il pas? Memorize them. They're tough. It's difficult to do it on your own, so memorize them. Some things have to be memorized in a language. Now let's look at these sentences. What are we supposed to do? Transform the questions into questions with inversion. This is your high class language. Soutenu means high class. So est-ce que, remove. Subject goes to position number 2. Aimer comes to position number 1. So that is your sentence. Aimez-vous le jazz? Second one, if I remove Esger, my sentence starts with Paul. Paul cannot be inverted. I replace Paul with IL and I invert the IL. Paul vient-il chez nous demain? Alright. Third one, no subject, no problem, remove Esger. Remove Esger. For those who are blinking, I remove Esger. Why? Because I'm supposed to transform the questions from Esger standard to inversion, which is high class level. So I remove Esger and I invert the verb. Peux-je vous parler maintenant? The next one, Esger. If I remove that, le train is a noun. It's not a pronoun. And I cannot invert nouns. I replace the noun with IL because it is le train. And now I invert the pronoun. Okay? Now look at this. Can you see this? Why is this there? Because E is a vowel, IL is a vowel. You can't remove it. You're high class, right? You can't remove it. So you put hyphen T hyphen in between. Whenever there's a vowel clash when you invert, put hyphen T hyphen in between. Alright? Last one, Esger, remove it. Êtes-vous libre dimanche? Are you free on Sunday? I hope that's clear. So now, trouver, find. Trouver des questions pour ces phrases. Find questions for these sentences. Use inversion. Alright? So, je m'appelle Suganya. My name is Suganya. You're supposed to ask a question using inversion. We've done this semester 1. Let me see if you remember. Think. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3. No, let me count in French. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do you remember the question? Comment vous appelez-vous? Alright? This is a reflexive verb. Therefore, there are 2 pronouns. And the subject pronoun is inverted. Comment vous appelez-vous? Il aime le rouge. Many ways you can ask a question. What does he like? What color does he like? But you need a what. Quelle couleur? What color? Quelle couleur aime-t-il? What does he like? Okay? I can also say que aime-t-il? What does he like? I'm putting the accent on the like. The next one, elle chante la Marseillaise. What is she singing? Or, quelle chanson? What song is she singing? Quelle chanson chante-t-elle? If I put the accent on singing, I will use the tag QUE. But see, the tag comes in front, then you invert. Tag comes in front, then you invert. Okay, we are going to the shops. Where are you going? Où. Où means where. Où allez-vous? Where are you going? First the tag, then you invert. I'm doing my homework. Que fais-tu? What are you doing? Que fais-tu? What are you doing? First you have que, then you invert. And then last one, Arini prépare du riz. What is Harini preparing? Arini, I can't invert her. So I replace her with L and I invert L. So tag, verb, L. So I hope you've got that. If you still have doubts, come and see me. Bon courage. Merci.